Sasha Banks no more, Mercedes Moné arrives in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and some major women's matches for WrestleMania are in plans, and they're not what you think. Welcome if you're entering the bell, this is DS, and this is our news and rumor episode with...
the Sriracha Muchacha, Paloma Star.
And the dad bod demigod, Joey Mayberry.
Oh my god, there's so much to talk about. It's just first week of January.
I know, this year started off with a bang.
So this is the news that we've been all wondering about since May of 2022. Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out and we were like, what is next for Sasha and Naomi? Are they coming back? Every pay-per-view there was like a rumor that they're coming back.
Every single pay-per-view.
It's not just a pay-per-view, it's every Raw, every SmackDown.
NXT level up.
Then there's a whole like AEW rumor, and now we know half the answer. Because Sasha Banks no more, we've got Moné. Wait, well, I keep saying Frankie Moné.
I keep saying Frankie Moné every time.
But it is Mercedes Moné made her debut in New Japan Pro Wrestling at Wrestle Kingdom 17. Okay, first impression, what do we think?
I like it. I'm excited for it.
I think it's super cool that she got to debut at Wrestle Kingdom, which is very much not a women-friendly, known type to have women on the show. So the fact that there was even a women's match on the show and have her debut that, I was like, whoa, this is huge. She looked great.
Yeah, what do we think of that Moné?
Love the entrance music. Catchy.
I literally wish that I could skip that and put it as like my alert tone for when my deposit goes in.
That's your Cash App thing instead of the ding, it's that money.
You know, The Sky's the Limit is like one of my all-time favorite theme song in WWE, but I feel like this is pretty good too.
I was waiting for like Snoop Dogg to like drop in a verse in there.
So fresh, y'all. Money, y'all.
And the bob cut with like kimono got me very Madonna vibe.
Very much so.
I saw someone on Twitter that put Tyler Breeze's music over her entrance. And she was like, is it my eyes?
The hair was very interesting.
At first, I thought it was like leopard print.
Same.
And I didn't fully like it. But then as soon as I saw it was flames, and then it like, I was talking with Jake, and he was like, oh, it's her burning the blue hair. Then I was like, okay, I'm into it.
I literally didn't know it was the blue hair being burnt until I walked into your place. Oh, okay, I could see it now, for sure. I love that every time she like comes back or like debuts or something big, she changes her hair drastically. And I think that's a really cool personal brand that she's taken on, because hair is like one of the first things a lot of people see on people, and that's like one of her signature things. So I really love that she makes it a point. I do wonder though, is she gonna keep it that way?
I mean, she made some merch out of it, so I feel like maybe.
I mean, if she didn't make merch out of it, then she's not capitalizing.
I first of all loved watching Twitter when the Wrestle Kingdom was happening, because all these diva stands.
Yeah. All of a sudden.
Watching New Japan.
Yeah, New Japan, you're like, what?
And they were so confused. They were like, I don't know how this website works. Who are these people on the show? Watching that meltdown was so funny. But also, I almost got the vibe where like Cody Rhodes went into WrestleMania, and we were like, what is the AEW founder doing in WWE? I kind of got the similar vibe when Sasha Banks walked into Wrestle Kingdom, because it's like Sasha Banks is such a staple in WWE. She like headlined WrestleMania. She was like such WWE person. So to see her in Wrestle Kingdom in New Japan, which has like such a different design of arena. The audience is very different. The audience behavior is different. A lot of people complaining about how like there were not bigger pops.
Different culture, different
way of enjoying wrestling. So it was just bizarre, and it had that weird feel of like seeing her in there. It's almost like I'm in a multiverse.
Yeah.
Like I walked into a multiverse. So I really thought it was iconic.
Yeah, iconic in like every way and sense of the word, because there's like some good things, some bad things, but it's all kind of blended together, and I'm just excited to see what happens.
Let's talk about the bad thing a little bit later. But I personally think Sasha Banks, one of the top star of WWE walking into New Japan, this could be a big paradigm shift for pro wrestling industry in general, because again, like all these diva stands trying to watch New Japan, it's going to bring a lot of eyeballs to New Japan and Japanese wrestling in general, and I'm very excited about it.
I think that's what I'm most excited about, is because because the Joshi style of wrestling is known in the US, but I don't think a lot of people know even where like it comes from and like Stardom and all like the different stars on it. And I will be honest with you, it's kind of hard to keep up with it if you're not in it every week. So I think this is going to bring a new audience for the company, and I think it's going to be really cool to see them kind of like navigate that. They could probably end up loving somebody else that's on the roster that's besides Sasha Banks, and like I think she's going to bring a lot of new eyes to it, and it's going to be really funny because I'm sure like New Japan is like, who are all these people who are watching this?
I mean, I love it because it's like it's KAIRI versus Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Like that story started in WWE when KAIRI left. She was like taken out by Sasha Banks. So it's like I think it's like remember like she got injured.
All of 2020 is like a complete.
I remember because she's like Asuka. No,
All I'm thinking about is Shayna.
I think this is like planned, this is scheduled, this is constructed to bring all the WWE fans in, which is very smart. So what does she do? So Mercedes Moné came in looking so great and then challenged IWGP Women's Champion KAIRI for a match for the next event in the United States, Battle in the Valley in San Jose, February 18. She says she's going to leave KAIRI, quote, bankrupt, bitch, and you can bank on Moné.
Don't forget, she's the CEO.
Not the boss.
Not the boss.
CEO.
The CEO.
I like how she was trying to like drop everything. Like, I'm the CEO. You could bank on it. You go bankrupt, and it's almost like you're playing the game where like, oh, you have to describe like what that charades game where you have to say what it is, but you can't say these words.
Oh, like heads up.
Yes, where like you have to say what it is, but you can't say these certain words. That's exactly what I feel like she's trying to do. These are gonna be my new words, so don't call me the boss. No, I can't say bank statement. Sorry.
I guess we have to talk about her new finisher.
So, I think the silence is very loud. Obviously, it says a lot. I think she kind of overthought it. Like, why couldn't you just come in and clothesline KAIRI? Especially, KAIRI had just had a match. There was no need to do a big fancy move. I think it would look great. She's obviously hit it before since we all seen the video, what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
But I really think it would have been more effective if she just came in and like within a crazy lariat and just laid her out.
Or even bank statement.
Or even a bank statement. Just something that's literally foolproof.
I mean, I understand why she did that because she probably wanted to make a big splash.
And she should have made a bank statement.
I don't want to blame anyone because wrestling things happen.
Yeah, of course.
For KAIRI.
We are.
KAIRI, just kidding. But I do want to say that it did not take away from how magical this moment is for me, at least, because I was still very much in like, is this real? Is this really happening? Also, it was like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., whatever. It was very, very late. And then afterwards, she did a whole presser, which was really funny. There was like a lot of very meme moment where she was like asking people to ask questions. But she said that she is here for the world domination, and this is just the first stop. Konnichiwa.
I want to see somehow, some way, her pop up and be on Mickie James' last rodeo tour. I hope that's going to be a thing.
I think she chose her words very carefully for a reason. The fact that she said world domination makes me feel like this is not her only plan, which then makes me feel like about like Mickie James, or I mean, are we going to see her pop up in other companies, other countries? I really would love to see what is in store for her because I think she definitely set that for a reason and on purpose.
So that word, I mean, she's such a genius with that whole marketing stuff. But there's a one door that it seems like she definitely closed, and it is WWE. Because right before Wrestle Kingdom event, she started mass tweeting.
Yeah.
And she was like, thank you WWE, thank you Triple H, thank you Vince McMahon, thank you William Regal, thank you Crew with the K, and thank you Sasha Banks, seemingly saying final goodbye to the Sasha Banks character.
She'll be back.
Yeah.
She'll be back.
Yeah. You might be gone for a little bit, but she's coming back.
Okay.
Like, it's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of speculation going on right now with AEW because next week there is a tag match, Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Saray'a with the mystery partner. Saray'a did announce it as Toni Storm this week on Dynamite, but the speculation is rampant. Especially added that whole Hikaru Shida was like looking really salty over it.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Britt Baker had a little hint like, I'm the boss. Wink.
I'm the boss.
I could full on see it happening. Like, honestly, if you're going to go for this whole world domination thing, that's why I instantly, like, gravitated towards Mickie James. Because Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, has all the, like, star power to go wherever she wants to and make a huge impact. So I don't see... Fair. I don't see why she wouldn't just go and just say, I want to fight this person. I want to fight this person, because no one's going to not book it. That'd be dumb.
I think it is so smart of AEW doing this. This is all they're doing. I do not think it's her. I do not think it's Mercedes at all. Because it's so smart of AEW doing this, because guess what it does? Gets the people talking. The Twitter is going all crazy. Internet's going all crazy. This is exactly the Twitter. And I sounded so old saying that. But this is exactly what they want to do. And they want to drop those hands. Like that whole like wink thing. Like it's so smart of them to capitalize on something that's going on, because of course everybody's going to speculate that it's her.
So, there's a lot of conflicting reports on this from wrestling journalists, too. So, we've got Daisy and Stephen Mulhausen reporting that Mercedes Bernardo will be Saray'a's partner next week at AEW Dynamite in LA against Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. Couldn't announce or make a major hint due to her being still under contract to WWE until the beginning of 2023. And then on the other hand, we got Wrestling Observer Radio saying that she's not in Los Angeles, she's not coming to AEW. I don't think she wants to make more commitments, because if she goes to AEW, it'll be a long commitment. And they also said, I also know from WWE that they are very strongly under the impression that she will not wrestle for AEW.
Going off of what Joey said, she has the star power to handpick who she wants to wrestle. And I think anybody who she would want to wrestle that is in AEW, she could possibly wrestle them not in AEW. Because I think for her right now in her career, it's about who she's wrestling as opposed to much about where she's wrestling.
I also wonder, New Japan, they poured money on Moné. They paid her even more than Chris Jericho, so it's like the highest paid ever. So I wonder if they would like her to wrestle somewhere else before their big New Japan show.
If it's like AEW, it's only going to build their show, because it's going to get more people invested in what she's doing now, because I don't think there's as big of a New Japan audience as there is AEW at this point. So having her do that, and then maybe on AEW television talk about how she's already in New Japan to do this thing, so it could be some good advertising.
But we also seen over the years that Sasha Banks and Mercedes Moné have been very smart with the media and how to create conversation. So she might be the source that's giving different news to all these different wrestling journalism to confuse people and let them talking. So maybe that's what it is. But very, very exciting. But let's talk about the other half of the whole situation. Naomi, because where is Naomi going? Naomi was in Japan to support Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, and she had this really cute red hair. So the news is saying, and this is Wrestling Observer, saying that while there's nothing official on Naomi, she's certainly returning to WWE.
I totally agree.
Yeah, if she's not number 30 in the Rumble this year, everything is wrong. Everything. That is your number 30. The crowd is going... Look at how they erupted when she came back to the Rumble a few years ago. You want that times 500? That's this year.
She's Queen of Rumble. She is Queen of Rumble, so it's perfect. A lot of people also pointed out that red hair goes really well with Bloodline.
True.
Yeah, that should happen.
Agreed.
I think they need a mom in the group because they're all breaking apart. They need Naomi to come back and kids, get your shit together.
They could bring all of them together like a trinity.
Speaking of WWE, let's talk about a little bit of WrestleMania, because there's a lot of major rumors coming out about what match we'll be having at WrestleMania. So this is a match that people have been talking for years now, Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey, that there was a huge interest back in 2018 after the whole bloody Becky situation. And now, apparently that match, WWE is kind of moved on from that plan.
So has everyone else. We don't need this match at this point. They're not even in the same orbit. We don't need it.
That boat has definitely sailed. I would love to see the follow-up between that weird finish where her shoulders weren't really up, and that would be a great continuation of a storyline. It makes sense. You don't even have to write a story. The story writes itself. But I feel like a lot of people now either don't remember, don't care, and it's almost for what? They should have done it right there and then, or at least the next year, because you can't recreate that emotion. You could create as many as cool, awesome video packages as you want, replaying what happened, but that emotion with the fans is not going to be the same.
They should have done it last WrestleMania, because she was still undefeated, because that pin was not legitimate, not definitive. But now that she's got pins after pins, I don't know if it holds the same amount of gravitas. And also, Stephen Mulhausen of DAZN said, in regards to Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey in Mania, people close to Lynch feel the match has lost its luster and should have been one-on-one at WrestleMania 35 when Ronda was at her apex. So the current plan there's a lot of interesting plans regarding Rhea Ripley. Right now, there's two different reports. One saying that Ronda Rousey versus Rhea Ripley is the plan for WrestleMania this year. There's another report saying that Becky Lynch will be taking title off of Bianca Belair soon, and then we'll have Raw Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. What do you think of these two contradicting reports?
I don't hate either idea. Like, it's literally like putting a different brand of peanut butter with a different brand of jelly. Like, it's all going to go together because they're all very talented, but I just need to see storyline develop, because right now I'm like looking at all of these matches going, how
are we gonna get there?
Yeah, like this checker's all the way over here and this one's here, like how are we gonna jump? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm more interested in. Like, either way I'm good with it, but I'm like, so how are we gonna get there and why? Like, I think it needs to be more like a better reason to get there, as opposed to like, this would be a great match.
One thing is for sure, WWE wants Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania in one of the big matches. Maybe she'll be taking Rumble this year.
That wouldn't surprise me. I'm still crossing my fingers for Naomi because I just want that. I think it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
But like Rhea Ripley's just been on a roll, especially with like her character work recently, because she's already proved time and time again she's a powerhouse and she can go. But now she's like, I can perform. This is great.
It says a lot for like WWE, even especially on their social media team, like really leaning into the whole like the mommy and the papi and her dom type, and like they're really leaning into that heavy. And I think it's kind of like cool that they are, because there's definitely obviously a market for that. But like how you said, Joey, is like she can also perform and deliver. Like, she has everything going for her. I just want to have a reason why, as opposed to like, we like her, so here she is. And I feel like that's a lot of times how people end up getting stale, feeling like they're being pushed down our throats, even though I think a lot of people would like that if that happened to Rhea. But hey.
And I think the whole Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley news is kind of interesting, because where does that leave Bianca Belair? That also made me think maybe Bianca will going for Charlotte Flair, because she said in multiple different interviews that she wants to face Charlotte Flair for WrestleMania, including a Ring the Bell interview, because she's the only one horsewoman that she hasn't beaten yet.
I just don't. They're both champions right now. I don't see how they would get there, but
I would actually kind of like to see Bianca in a different type of style of WrestleMania match, because I feel she's had like so many bangers and bangers singles matches. Why not have like a intergender match with her and Montez, especially now that they have like a reality show versus, I don't know, somebody, another couple or something.
I thought they could do something really interesting when they started doing this whole Bianca and Alexa thing, because it started to take off, especially with like that backstage segment with the vase match, and then that match happened. And so
people were dragging me for not liking the match, and they're like, bring Joey! Okay, here's Joey's comment.
Storyline wise, and that scary movie reference, fantastic.
Yeah.
The match itself, not quite there. Like, and I love Alexa Bliss, standard to death.
So you want that for WrestleMania?
I would love to see something like that. Just something honestly storyline driven. Like, give me some sort of fantasy, rip me out of the real world for a second. Because, like, the last, like, big WrestleMania one-on-one feud that didn't seem like some sort of, like, ESPN kind of article that I can remember was way back in the day with Mickey and Trish.
What's interesting either way is that right now with the whole Alexa-Bianca feud and Charlotte Flair taking the title off of Ronda Rousey, the whole WrestleMania picture has been a lot more murkier than before.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting. It's just generally very exciting time to watch women's wrestling, so I'm so here for it. Alright, thank you so much for joining in for this News and Rumor episode. Paloma, where can we all find you?
You can find me at Paloma Star on Instagram and Twitter.
You can find me at Joey_Mayberry on Instagram and Twitter, Joey.Mayberry on TikTok, and please check out the Golden Era podcast, where Jake and I talk the Golden Era of the Divas division. It's streaming wherever you get your podcast.
And you can find me at DS Shin on Instagram and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. Alright, see you next time. Bye!